Okay. Last one I wanted to do was, I'm gonna do it here. New form. So, we're gonna do read write frame. So again, there's not gonna be much difference than what we've had before. I'm gonna make this pretty basic, just so then it's nothing too crazy. We'll have some text fields here. Now, see, when you rush, same thing happens here. Properties, code, events, remove. Back to design, change variable name to name field, and I'm gonna have the text be blank. Change variable name to age field, and then add text to nothing, and add text to nothing. Trying to figure out what that last one should be. Working on the fly here. Name. Even though I'm doing it quickly, I'm naming everything. What information did we get the last time? Oh, we weren't actually getting anything. Huh, that's why. Let's see what I've done. No. Oh, it is something completely different. That makes sense though. That's fine. Name, age. And we'll do favorite food. And then what we're gonna do is the two buttons we're gonna have there is we're gonna have an add button. And I'm gonna have add button. I'm gonna have save food label. And here I'm gonna have save food field. And then I'm gonna have a button that reads. And I'm actually going to show you how to make a button that closes. And then I'm going to just stretch this out and make a text area. I guess I can just do this. And then this. Perfect. Okay. No. So when we're doing this, we're going to have our three methods from our three buttons. And to make a program close, not closer, you just do system and then you use exit. And when things turn off, it's a 0. When things turn on, it's a 1. So that's going to be super straightforward. The only difference we're going to have here is we're going to get the input from the fields in our add button, and our read button, we're just going to call the method to read from a file. So first we're going to get the input from the fields, and then we're going to add it to the list. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to call it string input is going to be equal to name field dot get text, but I'm also going to add in this comma. And I'm going to add in this comma because I know there's going to be these 3 pieces of information, so at least it'll separate them instead of putting them side by side by side. Because what we're going to do is we're going to add to the same thing here, and we're going to add in your age. Now we're not going to make it into a number. We're just going to add it as a string, because when you do things to a file, it actually doesn't know how to add numbers. It only knows how to add words. So we have to keep everything as a word. And then we'll add in favorite food. And we don't need to add in anything after that because that's all that's going to get passed through. Now I'm going to go back to our old code here because we're actually going to use this exact thing here minus these writes. I'm going to use this one. Just use my buffer writer and my print writer. So I copy that. Oh, the other thing that we have to do before I actually start doing this is way up here. Remember, we're going to import first java dot io. No, we're not going to add in each one individually. We're actually just going to do the star here. I'll add in all these ones here, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to have to call a static file f1, and it's going to be equal to new file, and I'm going to call this one output GUI.txt. And there. Now, I tell a lie with saying we're pretty much done. You know how in our main method we did this try catch here because we said we don't know if the file exists right away, so we need to make sure it makes it. So what we're going to do is instead of calling this check file method, what we're going to do is just take this code in this method, and we're actually going to put it right here because this, F1, this right here is our constructor for our form, and we know that constructors make the objects. So this makes our frame object, and what happens is when this thing makes our frame object, so that's when it first makes the program, it's going to make sure that the file's made too. So this forces it to do it right away. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to use these write to file and read to file things. So it's super nice so that we can just go like this. And I'm just going to paste it down here. Now the only thing is we're going to make sure F1 goes, or sorry, file, and then we're going to actually make it have a string go through as well. Because all we're going to do here is we're just going to write whatever's there. Oh, we are going to want to do a new line as well. So this writes the text from the field to the text file and adds a new line. So it does all this in here. We've done all the work a lot, so I'm just trying to show you how to fiddle with this. And now all we need to do now is write to file, and we call in our file F1. Now, hey, let's bracket F1, and then we need to have, to see how it's highlighting here. Okay, so you have your file. Now you need to put in whatever your string is. Well, I have a string. It's going to be called input. So when I press this add button, it's going to add these all to input. It's going to call this method here, and then it's going to add to the file. Nice and simple. I didn't say questions so far, but no one's here. Okay, we're going to copy this one because, yeah, this is where I'm reading things, which is nice and easy. We're just going to read this stuff here. Now, the only difference from this read is instead of it doing a system.out, watch this, output dot append. Well, it's not output, output area dot append. Oh, and so with this one, you actually need to call it just public void. You can call this one public void too, but especially the read file. And then that's it. So it's the exact same code. All we're doing is instead of the system.out, we're just saying put it to this output area. Same with this one here. Instead of writing each line, we're going to say make sure you write whatever it is. And then here we just do read from file F1. That's it. Most of your work is just going to go into making sure that these are caught right. So do this here. And go and red, add to file, and then I do Jane 29 green, add to file. When I list these, it's just putting them out one by one. Nothing too crazy. Now if I exit this and I go like this is why we do this, because now I'm not re-entering the same 2 bits of information. They're already there. And it looks really nice now. Now when I click add to file, what I'm going to do is after this, I'm just going to do this one. Just to show you a little trick. Name field dot set text. And age. And this one's going to be fave food. And Frank 20. Let's color blue. Now you like this because now they're all there. Now I could have done, I'm going to add one thing here. Output area dot set text. Just makes it look a little fancier here. And then here, all I have to do is All I'm going to do here now is set the text to nothing first. So watch how this works. It's going to look very fancy now. Aria, age 2, favorite color is going to be purple. Item added, list, here are these things, and then exit, and it closes it too. So that's how all the buttons work nicely.